What's going on, Marauder Gang? This is going to be a State of the Union on Quebec City/Montreal. I just touched down back in my homeland, Boston, Massachusetts, Beantown. You guys know me, I'm a Boston head because I parked my car in Harvard Yard. I say things like car, coffee, things like that. I got a story for you guys from Quebec City, and I'm about to flame Quebec City. So if you guys are easily offended by me thrashing fucking other places in the world and you think it's like insensitive and I'm just like some dumb American, click off now. Because I called Montreal a dump, people are getting offended about it. Like my Matt Marauder content is to be taken 100% seriously at all times. So this is going to be a State of the Union address on what's been going down. So let me get started with the car drive back. To get from Montreal to the Beantown, it took, oh my God, guys. It took like 2 hours to get to the border. We crossed the border in Vermont, and crossing the border to get into Canada, I mean, we could have had guns, drugs, all of that shit in the car, and it wouldn't have, like, we would have been able to cross the border. If I had like 35 tons of C4 in a fucking U-Haul and crossed the border and he asked me, do you have 35 tons of C4 back in that U-Haul? And I said, no, sir. He would have just let me go right through. But to get into US, no joke, it took us 2 hours to cross the border. The line moved so goddamn slow, and they just had like fucking dogs running up and down the lane, smelling the cars. This like Chrysler, one of the dogs was going past it, and it like smelled something in the front left tire, so the Chrysler got like hauled off. There was like 40 police officers with that guy, so I don't know, that guy might have been a terrorist that was right next to us. He got fucking flagged down because he had cocaine in his fucking Michelin Pilot Sport 3, or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And the reason it took so long to cross the border is because when we got to the guy at border crossing, the motherfucker chin-wagged like for like 5 minutes just saying dumb shit. We came up to the thing. I was sitting passenger and my brother was driving because like he's the big brother, so I'm not allowed to drive, you know, when we're doing that. Pisses me off. He doesn't let me fucking drive. He's got 6 years on me, so I can't like beat his ass because he's also got like 50 pounds on me. Because I know that like I'm huge in stature, but he's like a bigger version of me. So if you guys can like even fathom that, I know it's hard to even comprehend. He looks like a fucking brontosaurus. So he gets to drive on vacations and I just sit in the passenger seat. Then he's like, why do you guys look so pissed off? And we're like, dude, buddy, we've been waiting for an hour and a half to cross this goddamn border. And now we know it's because your dumbass is just asking a bunch of stupid questions trying to pass time. That's why we're pissed off. And he was like, what, to my brother, he was like, what's your relation to the people in the car? And my brother folded immediately. He was like, And he was like, my brother and my girlfriend. It's not his girlfriend, it's my girlfriend. He fucking folded off bad. So then we actually looked like we got the C4 in the trunk. But luckily my pops and my mom went through first, and my dad was like, those are my kids behind me. So that kind of saved us from getting fucking the canines pulled out on us. So that really pissed me off. That added like 2 hours to the drive. Unnecessary, guys. Like, I don't know. And the drive back took 6 fucking hours. And then I got home. I was like, okay, I haven't eaten all day. I got home at 4:00 p.m. I hadn't eaten all day. So so I'm angry right now. But like when I'm hungry, I get hangry and I'm basically intolerable. Like I'm ready to punch a hole through a wall. Like when I was waiting at the border, I had my feet hanging out the window of the Kia Sportage because my back hurt because I'm 7 feet tall, 7 inches. So my back hurts when I sit for long distances. So I was like sitting hunched back in my chair with my feet hanging out the window. And there was this guy in a Rivian R1 that was laughing at me like shit's fucking funny. And the cops came by with this fucking Belgian Malinois, that fucking dog. And he was like, put your feet back in the car. And obviously I said, yes, officer, because I'm not about to get like held up at fucking customs to get into the country. But like, I was just hoping that a pedestrian was going to try to tell me to put my feet back in the car. So then I could just tell him, and what are you going to do if I don't? And then he could get out of the car and I'll roll up the window, lock the door, and then that motherfucker can't do shit. I was waiting for that to happen, but it didn't happen, luckily, because they saw my size 13 foot hanging out the window and they were like, that motherfucker's huge, I'm not testing him. I don't know if any of this video sucks. Already off bat, this video sucks. But I had a story for you guys, and it was in Quebec City. Now, first of all, Quebec City, the weather in Quebec City is so bad. It's like 5 minutes of like tropical sun and then a half hour of just downpouring. You get no time. There's just dark clouds everywhere. So half the time it was fucking pouring. So we got wet all 3 days that we were there. And we went to this restaurant that had umbrellas out. It was one of those restaurants where it's like you sit out front, but it's like roofed with umbrellas that are connected. So like if it's raining, rain can't get in. So I sit down and we just wanted to get drinks, and then we got a charcuterie board because we were feeling fancy. So I'm like, they all speak French, so, and I speak English, and I speak English and I speak fucking Dominican Spanish, kind of, you know what I mean? So those are my two languages. Hola, you know, the basics. So I'm fluent in Spanish and English. I don't know French. But all the people in Quebec, they basically speak broken English. So she comes up to me and she's like, "What do you want for something to drink?" And I'm like, "What kind of beer you got? Like, that's a light beer." And she's like, "Stella Artois." And off the bat, I'm like, "Okay, that's right up my alley because it's got a fancy name, and I like to feel fancy when I'm drinking shit." So I get that. It comes to the table, and I'm drinking that, and I'm on like an empty stomach at that point. So one beer has already got me fucking feeling tipsy. And all of a sudden, so like I'm enjoying my day. It's like 5 o'clock. It's like the weather's warm out. It was raining before we got in, but it stopped, and now it's sunny again because it's Quebec, and the weather there is fucking horrendous. And all of a sudden, it starts downpouring, right? So we're in the corner where the umbrellas stop. So we're not really getting wet at this point, even though it's downpouring. It's like a straight downpour. It's not raining sideways or anything crazy like that because there's not really wind. But all of a sudden, I'm sitting there. I'm having a ball, guys. I'm having a fantastic fucking time. And all of a sudden, guys, I'm getting so pissed off even just reciting this story to you guys because I haven't like recited this yet, and I'm already heated. So all of a sudden, I'm talking to my dad about some bullshit. And I'm like, why does it feel like I just stepped into the fucking Atlantic Ocean with my left foot and all the way up to my knee? Why does it feel like I'm fly fishing? Why does it feel like I'm in a cranberry bog when I'm just sitting in a fucking Quebecian restaurant? And I look to my left, and then I'm like, wait, I'm in a restaurant, so why is Niagara Falls falling 3 inches to my left? I fucking gaze up at the umbrellas, and I should have known that we shouldn't have gone to this place because I should have known that the umbrellas couldn't hold up the fucking tropical storms that Quebec City has. I look up, and there's some gutter situation that's holding the two umbrellas together, and it's faulty. It's just completely broken, and there is just a fucking waterfall crashing right next to my foot, and it's like ricocheting off the ground and just hitting my calf. So, and that's a lot of surface area to cover. So it was going on for a while, and I didn't even notice it at first. So like 10 seconds went by. So my left leg was just absolutely covered, like just soaking wet. And we're far away from the hotel. We're like a 20-minute drive away from the hotel. So, and I think I have slight anger issues, and this doesn't help when I'm getting soaked. I hate being wet. Pause. But pause. I'm just like, I'm so fucking mad, guys. And how am I supposed to react in this situation? Am I supposed to just not get mad and just be like, okay, this happened and move on? Like, do people just move on with things after stuff like that happens? I cannot comprehend that shit. If I get wet in any facet, one raindrop falls on me, immediately I'm so fucking angry and no one can tell me shit. I just want to, as soon as I feel one drop fall on me, I just want to look to the guy at my left and be like, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey," and I just want to spin his fucking jaw. Just some random, he's probably a nice guy, some nice Quebecian, and just make his chin touch his fucking eyebrows is what I want to do with an uppercut when I get wet. I hate being wet. It's just the worst feeling to me. So now I'm faced with the reality where it's like, my parents are on their first drink and they're going to be drinking more. This evening has just started, and my leg is in the Pacific Ocean. So it's waterlogged. It's like a fucking baseball that's been sitting in a puddle. So I'm so pissed, dude. And then I have to move over, and I'm still getting wet. And the water's like falling in my Stella Artois and shit like that. I'm like eating cheese, and there's a waterfall falling next to me. So I just immediately shut down. And I'm just like making jokes about it, but I'm so heated. Like, I thought I was going to get fucking swamp foot. Like, I thought I was going to take my shoe off when I got back to the hotel room, and 2 of my toes were going to be falling off, and there was going to be, like, holes in my foot, green, steaming. I thought my foot was gone. I thought they were going to be honest, when it happened, I would turn to my brother, and I was like, let's just fucking amputate this shit so I don't have to feel wet anymore. Let's get the tourniquet out. I'll put my leg flat on this chair. My brother, you hold me down, and Dad, get the axe, and from the bottom of the knee down, chop it off. I don't need it anymore. It's soaked. It's waterlogged. I got swamp foot. My shoe is wet too. It feels like I'm stepping in a full bathtub. And the waitress comes up and she's like in her French accent. I can't really do a French accent. She's like, oui, I'm so sorry. Je m'appelle that your merci, bonjour foot is wet. And she takes my drink off the bill. So I'm feeling a little bit better after that. But like, I get back to the hotel room after I'm in the Uber, and my leg's soaked in the Uber, and I'm just sitting in his car, like, just with my hand on my forehead, just, like, shaking with anger, just trying to do my breathing and my woo-saw and shit like that. And I get back to the hotel, and my girlfriend, she's like, we'll just put the blow dryer in the shoe, and it'll dry it out. And I'm like, at first, I'm like, that's a dumb fucking idea. But after, I'm like, yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea, because when I'm mad and people think of good ideas on how to solve my problem, I immediately shoot them down because I don't like people solving my problems for me. I like to solve them myself. So she's like, maybe put a blow dryer in and we'll get mad. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm not putting a blow dryer in my fucking shoe. I didn't actually do that, but in my head I was like that. But then like 2 seconds later, I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, fuck, that's actually a good idea. So then when we got back to the hotel, I was like, I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. This is a good-ass idea. So we put the blow dryer in my shoe, and it's my all-white Nike Prestos. Now, those of you that know me, I've been wearing all-white Nike Prestos since I was in the fucking 5th grade. Those are the only shoes I wear. If you see me, I'm wearing all-white Nike Prestos, and I wear them to the gym. And you guys know I go to the gym religiously. It's like the church for me. I go every fucking day, and I just torment my body. I just, like, put my body through fucking mayhem every day. And my shoes just, they get full Matt Marauder foot sweat in them. And these shoes, I've had them for 1.5 years. So that's 1.5 years of built up Matt Marauder foot juice. I'm sorry to get like vulgar, but that's really what it is. So we're making my bed because the fucking people at my hotel, we put the sign up that says make my fucking bed, bitch. And they didn't make the bed. It had been 5 hours. So now me and my girl have to make the bed, and I'm so pissed. I was like in the Uber with my wet ass fucking waterlogged swamp foot leg, and I'm in the Uber and I'm sitting there and it's quiet, and I look up to the sky and I fucking put my hands to the sky and I'm like, God, if you could hear this, please have my fucking bed made when I get back, because if not, I'm gonna be fucking pissed if I gotta make it. And of course, open the door, bed's not made, no new towels in the room. And I just accepted at that point. I can't even get any more mad than I already was. So I just took a breath and I was like, you know what? I'm going to change. All right, let me calm down in the video too. This is how I was. I was like, I'm just going to change. We're going to get dinner after this. So everything's going to be okay. I'm just telling myself in my head, like giving myself lullabies, like everything's going to be all right. And I'm like, woo-saw, woo-saw. I take a seat. I'm like, okay, everything is going to be fine. So we put the blow dryer in the shoe and we start making the bed. Now, like a minute after we put the blow dryer into the shoe, I'm like, hold on. It kind of smells funky in this bitch. So I go to my girlfriend. I'm like, I think the blow dryer is making my shoe smell and like stinking up the room. And she's like, no, it just smells like a blow dryer. And in the back of my head, I'm just like, my fucking shoe is stinking up the room. And she's trying to fucking make it so I don't get angry and trying to say that it's not. Because she doesn't want me to get mad. She knows I'm already mad. She's such a great girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? She's just so supportive. And then I switch to the side that my shoe's not on, and she comes to the side of the bed that my shoe's getting fucking blow dried in. My shoe's basically getting CPR from this blow dryer. So she goes over and she's like, it really does, it's kicking over here. You're right, it does fucking smell. So it smelled like fucking cheese in this room, and you can't open the windows. So the room smelled like absolute swamp foot fucking, it was a catastrophe. It made the room smell like fucking swamp foot for like the next 3 hours. Luckily we went out to get dinner, but like I was on the verge of puking. I was soaked. It was just a bad day for me. And I think that's all of the story. That's how I got swamp foot in Quebec, and I almost got my leg amputated. We'll stop there.